Today's training is going to focus on kicking. So if you need to pause the video, make sure your hamstrings and muscles are warmed up, do so. We don't want anybody to get injured. So the first kick that we're going to review is the front snap kick. So when I do this kick, as many of you remember, I like to say that there's 4 parts of the kick. The first part is the knee up. Second part is the target. Third part is snap back. And then fourth part is down. So we want to make sure that we incorporate all of those into each of our techniques. Most importantly, the snap back. Because oftentimes students will drop their knee after they hit their target. They'll drop their knee and they don't have any snap back. So the first thing I want to work on is getting the knee up high and tight. So pulling the knee tight to the chest. You want to have a little bit of a bend in your support knee and firmly position your support foot onto the floor. Okay? Then we'll switch our feet. And down. So when we hit our target, we want to make sure that we're using the proper part of our foot. So from here, I want you to get up on the tippy toes of your feet, and then I want you to go ahead and drop down on your left foot, keeping the ball of your foot, of your right foot, still planted on the floor. That is the position that you want your foot in when you're kicking. Okay? So this is the position that you want your foot. You want to make sure that you lock your ankle as well. So when we kick, you're going to bend both of your knees, push down into your support foot, bring your kicking knee up, extend that foot out, then you're going to snap it back and then down. All right, so let's practice that about 5 or 10 times. Ready? Push down your support foot, transfer your weight over that foot, and then picking the knee up and extending it out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now all one count. Ready? Each. Knee. Sunk. Shake. Go. Rook. Sich. Hutch. Coop. Jill. Right. Now we use the opposite foot, your left foot. All right. Now bending your knees, transfer your weight over to your support foot, your right foot, and then picking the left knee up, extending out, snap it back, and then down. Ready? All one count. Ready? Itch. Knee. Sunk. Shake. Go. Rook. Sich. Hutch. Cut. Choke. All right, and hips around. And other way. So I'm not going to get into the moving with the front kick, stepping in, and Sensei Kim will be going over some drills after. All right, so the next kick that I want to review is the side snap kick. So side snap kick, oftentimes our path is wrong, whether it's on the outward swing of the foot or when we're bringing the foot back. Think of it as your arm, right? It's the same motion as this, as if this were your knee joint coming out. foot position, again, if you get on the edges of your feet, you want to lock that ankle just like you did with the front snap kick. You want to lock that position in so that your foot doesn't flop around. Okay, so practicing, again, you're going to bend your knees, keep your butt up underneath of you, and bring the kicking foot up. You want to open up your knees a little bit because of the direction of the kick. Okay, so here and down, out, back, and down. I'm going to pause this video for a second. We're going to get a different angle and we're going to work the kick on the wall. A common issue that I see with the side snap kick is the path of the kick. Again, whether it's extending out or when it's coming back. So a drill I like to practice is getting close to a wall. And again, you can start with your kicking foot, rest on top of your knee, keep your toe close to the wall, and then bring it back. As long as you keep your toe the same distance from the wall, the path of your kick should be pretty good. Coming out and back. One of the issues I commonly see in class is the kick coming out might be good, but then it swings back behind the body when it comes back to the knee. So again, this drill should hopefully help that. If you try to keep your toe close to the wall. And you can do the same thing on this direction here. Coming up, open up the hips. Then you can put it into applicable uses here. All right, make sure you don't break your posture. Try to keep your posture straight on as you're kicking. The next kick I want to review is the side thrust kick. Okay, so again, positioning of the foot, you want to lock the ankle in, and as the knee comes this time towards your chest, you're going to throw the foot out first and make sure that you're coming straight off to your side. You don't want to turn and throw it this way because that's going to be more of a yoshirigiri, more of a back kick, and then bring it back and down. You want to also engage your obliques. You don't want to throw the kick with your posture this way. Try to work on keeping your posture upright so that when you're throwing the kick, you're trying to keep the body upright the best you can. And then bring the knee back down. Okay, so a drill again using the wall. From here, you're going to pick your knees straight up. Then keeping your foot or the toes close to the wall, coming out, back, and down. You want to try to keep the foot on the same path the best that you can. So bringing the knee up, straight out, straight back, and down. Knee up, straight out, straight back, and down. With the opposite foot, again, we're going to bring the knee up, straight out, straight back, and down. Knee up, straight out, back, and down. Again, work your posture. And then you can use it on a target here. Okay? The next kick I want to go over is the roundhouse kick, mawashigari. So with the roundhouse kick, one of the problems that I see sometimes is a lot of times you keep the hip back. All right, so make sure that you're not keeping the hip back. You know, the kick starts off to the side. Best you can, try to get the foot and the knee on the same plane and then bring the kick around. All right, then let the hip follow through with the kick. Additionally, you're going to be able to make more distance by doing that. All right. The other thing I like to do with the mawashigari is if your hands are in a fighting position, whichever, just think of keeping your elbows attached to the hips. So when the right hip comes forward, you're going to keep those hands together. With the roundhouse kick, the principle is the same. You're keeping that hand attached to the hip. So the hip's coming forward, so this side's coming forward, and that'll help bring the hip forward instead of keeping it back. That position. So in practicing the mawashigari, using a wall again, this time use your forearm to get yourself a little bit closer and in the same direction of where you're kicking. Again, you want to get the knee and the foot best you can on the same plane. It's going to come around and then back down. The front foot can pivot out slightly to make the kick easier, especially easier on the joints. Okay, so from here, coming through, and if the best you can, the angle of the foot should come down. Using the opposite side, and then against the target. And that's the mawashigari.
Okay, so now we're going to use the other Sensei Weber's kicking practice and put it together for a drill. So many of you have seen this before. We're going to use the imbasin. We're going to make a back stance with our left leg forward. So hidari kokutsudachi. Next count, this is our starting position. So first count should be step forward, brush your knees lightly into zen kutsudachi, front stance. Then brush your knees lightly, step out with your right side, kibidachi. So you'll notice that your left foot is your pivot foot. It doesn't move, it basically stays in place. Then brush your knees together and you're back into your kokutsudachi again. All right, so let's practice that again. Smoothly brush your knees, step forward in front stance. Smoothly brush your knees, step out into kibidachi. And smoothly brush your knees, step back into kokutsudachi. All right, so now we're going to add kicking to the drill. So we're going to keep the kicks for basic. We're going to start with kakomi. This first one will be back leg side thrust kick. So you're going to bring your knee up, side thrust kick, step forward into zen kutsudachi, front stance. So this is a common kick for those of you that do sparring, ippon kumite, and it's really important after you do your side thrust kick to try to fight back to get to a front stance. Okay, we say that in class all the time. Next count, brush your knees lightly. That's going to be a common thing. Make sure that you're bringing your legs together before every kick and every stance. You're going to do yokogari keage, side snap kick, step out into kibidachi. Then you're going to bring your knees together Again, making sure that your knees are bent, so don't come up here. You're going to do the right leg, Maigiri, step back into back stance. All right, so let's try again. First one is Kokomi, front stance. Press your knees, Kayagi, side snap kick, Kibidachi. Knees together, stay down, Maigiri, step back into Kokutsudachi, back stance. All right, let's try one more time. Side thrust kick, each. Knee, san, and back. So now we're going to do an advanced version. For those that are intermediate or advanced level, you can try. For beginner level, you may not want to try just yet. So in place, you're going to use your front side. Maeashi Yokogeri Kokomi. Lift up your left knee, pivot foot, kick, and then step back down. Back leg side thrust, and step in. Bring your knees together. Keep down in your stance. Left side, side snap. Right side, side snap, step in. Next count. Knees together. Right leg kick, step back into your back stance. Then Maeashi, Maigiri. Let's go over that again. So front leg. For those of you that are beginner level, just do the one kick that we started off with. Ready? Side thrust kick. So beginner level, you'll do this one. Step in, side thrust. Then knees together, side snap. Beginner level, just side snap, step in. Bring your knees together. Front kick, step back, and then Maeashi, Maigiri. All right, so we've practiced that. Let's do it now 3 times speed. I'm going to do the upper level version, and I want the lower level, beginner level, stick with just the one kick per stance. Ready? 3 times speed. Each. Knee. San. Ready? One more time. Scoot back. Sorry, 2 more times. Each. Knee. San. One more time. All on your own. Yeah. Hey. And yame. Bow. And relax. Now let's switch our legs. All right, so this time your right foot is going to be your pivot foot. So I want you to step back with your left foot. So this would be considered Migi Kokutsudachi. So you're going to step forward with your left leg, step forward in front stance, Zen Kutsudachi. Lightly brush your knees together, stay down in your stance, step your left foot out into Kibidachi, straddle stance or side stance. Bring your knees together again, lightly brush, step back into Kokutsudachi, back stance. All right, let's try again. Step forward into front stance, each. Knee. And san. Each. Knee. San. Okay, let's add our kicks. So moving forward, back leg, Yokogeri Kokomi, side thrust kick. Bring your knee up, in, land in a front stance. Lightly brush your knees, stay down in your stance, so keep your knees bent. Kiyage, side snap kick, step out. Knees together again, Maigiri in place, step back, back stance. Ready? Each. Knee. San. All right, beginner level, continue with that count and those kicks. Intermediate and advanced, I want you to add the following kicks. So front leg, Maeashi Kokomi, Then step forward, back leg, kakoni. Next count, bring your knees together. Kick with your pivot foot. Right side, side snap. Left side, side snap. Step out. Knees together. Left side, maigiri. Step back into back stance. Then mayashi, maigiri. Let's try again. Front leg, each. Back leg. Knees together, knee. San. All right, you ready? All right, let's try speed. Ich. Ni. San. Ich. Ni. Sorry, ni, that's a mistake. San. One more, all one count. Go. And yame. Okay, relax. So, advanced level, you may want to try to use the same imbosen with the front stance, the kibidachi, and the back stance, and add different kicks. So it'll look something like this. So for the front, for the first kick, you could do ura mawashi, then back leg mawashi. Then when you bring your feet together, you could do ura yaka mawashi. So back reverse roundhouse. This one, step out into kibidachi. Then when you step together, yashiro gari. Now I think probably you might want to change the count of these kicks, which kick you do first. I think it might make sense for you to kick with your pivot foot first, then with your stepping foot, and step into a back stance. All right, give that a try. All right, thank you for joining us today. You might want to do a warm down and a stretch because you're probably pretty warmed up at this point. Sensei Weber worked on some correct path of your kicks, and then we applied it in a kicking drill. So take some time to cool down, do a little bit of stretching. All right, until next time.